It is NBA action on EA Sports. I'm Ed Cohen. Great to be joined by Jay Williams. Should be a terrific game here tonight. We're at Barclays Center in Brooklyn. Tonight, the Brooklyn Nets playing host to the LA Clippers. The Nets able to control the tip. We're underway in Brooklyn. Jay Williams, kid from Jersey, rooted for the Nets growing up. And a putback slam.
Woo, that's nasty right there.
Clippers have the basketball. George to Marcus Morris. Trying to cash in. Jumper's good.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
To Aldridge. Oh, he had it. Bledsoe with it up top. He'll run the offense. To Paul George. Shot clock coming down to 4. Down to 3. And he buries it.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Hart with the basketball. Down just a couple. To Aldridge. Griffin. Oh, look out. Blake Griffin missed his first. That one goes. It's LA Clippers ball. Kawhi Leonard against KD. Probing the defense. Oh, highlight moves. Tough to do with the defender all over you. Nothing going here on that drive. Can't connect. To Marcus Morris. George. Harden's on him. Doesn't have the touch. No good. To Durant. Couple of cracks at the line now.
It's still early, so no real impact on that call. But you know that they're going to call this one tight, so you might want to keep your hands out of his pocket.
Kevin Durant. A couple of free throws on the way. Career 88% from the line. Knocks down the first. And gets both to drop at the line. Leonard to George. Nothing going here on that drive.
Screen coming.
Wide open look, won't go.
Look, sometimes it takes a little while to get into the flow of the game. During the next timeout or during the next break in action, take the ball, go shoot it. See the ball go through the net a couple of times.
And he draws the contact. LaMarcus Aldridge will go to the line for 2.
Hey, look, sometimes you need to feel out your opponent. Let them know you're there. I'm okay with that early foul.
First free throw is good. No good on the second. It's a 1-of-2 trip. The follow won't go either. Oh, look out. Blake Griffin. 2 of 4 now.
And sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Paul George to Bledsoe. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. It's Aldridge with the board. To Harden. Nothing going here on that drive. Aldridge. Short jumper won't go down. Bledsoe with the basketball. 5-point game. To Paul George. To Marcus Morris. Bledsoe. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
The offense has very little to lose on those type of plays if they know they can, number one, create contact, and number two, still get the ball up. You need to assert yourself fully on the defensive end by initiating the contact and not allowing the offensive player to get that ball above his waist.
Serge Ibaka at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 76% from the line. Free throw good as he finishes off the three-point play. They're back within a bucket. It's in the hands of James Harden. To Griffin. Durant buries it on the catch and shoot.
He's a modern-day big that plays like a 6'2" guard. Scary.
The assist from number 23, Blake Griffin.
Right.
Paul George, 4-2. Paul George, 2 for 3 now here in the first. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively, he makes those clutch shots. It re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Number 13, James Harden.
George couldn't keep it in. Out off Paul George. Harden, tough matchup against George. To Durant. To Griffin. From the outside, no good.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter, but the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
It's Brooklyn's ball. Durant to Harden. Sizing up the defense. Bad pass there. Clippers have it. Weighs his options. Leonard to George. Leonard to Paul George. Has a look. Add 2 points to the board.
That was a tough shot. The guy was in your pocket. He even contested the shot. Everything was going according to plan until then.
Durant with the basketball up top. Leads just a point. And finishes strong.
You used to hear all these coaches talk about, we need players to run the floor. No, I don't need you to run the floor. I need you to run the floor with purpose. Those are two different things. When you run the floor in attack mode, that's when plays like this occur.
To Harden. Durant to Harden. Here comes the screen. Nothing going here on that drive. James Harden knocks it down off the step back.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Paul George to Bledsoe. Well defended. Shot no good. If it was anyone else, they'd be back on the bench for taking that shot. Griffin to Durant.
The NBA Season 9 2021 games and highlights will be coming up next on Sports Action Infinity 2-2.
You can forget about it when he uses that 7'5" wingspan to attack the bucket.
To Bledsoe. Leonard, his first effort off the mark. Nets have the basketball. To Durant. To Aldridge. Durant to Harden. Durant. Deep two there, won't go.
Game
Bledsoe with it
1-7
up top.
Toronto
They're
Raptors
down
1-0 for Golden
George,
State Warriors
double figures in the
1-1-9
first
final.
quarter, now at 10, including that three.
And the more and more I watch, I become mesmerized with that follow through. That release is effortless.
To Durant. Nothing going here on that drive. Durant to Harden. The Nets now with 4 to shoot. Durant had made his first couple, but he misses there. George to Marcus Morris. Paul George. He's now
Game
5 for
1-7
6.
Denver Nuggets
And
9-7
last year, it
Phoenix
seemed
Suns
like PG
1-2-6
really had a
final.
difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Time to adjust. Both coaches making changes on the floor. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
That was such a great job by the offensive player. Knowing that you're probably going to take some lumps here and there, but still remaining aggressive throughout the shot and getting a crack at the extra point.
James Harden trying to cash in on the three-point play. A career 85% free throw shooter.
Game 1-7 New York Knicks 1-0-3 Chicago Bulls 1-0-9 final.
Leonard to George. Turnaround, it's good.
So deadly. Now look, part of that is God-given talent. But the other part is that ball speed combined with that handle. Oh, that's off the charts. But he always finds a way to slow himself down right before he goes into that shot.
Calls out of bounds. Last touch by Paul Millsap. Paul George to Batum. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Leonard. Not that time. He misses. Harden with it up top. Down by 1. To Aldridge. No.
And physicality is your friend. Don't let these guys get any easy ones down low. Make them look at the refs, wondering where the foul was every time.
Millsap to Harden. 5 seconds to shoot. Harden. Message received. Well defended. And he scores on the step back.
And if you don't contest, he's knocking that down with ease.
Harden in possession. Down 3. To Millsap. From the painted area, won't go down. Jackson with it. Looking to make something happen. Off the mark. Well contested. Harden against Paul George. Millsap to Harden. 24-second violation. Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. George.
Game
over the right
1-7
side.
Los Angeles Lakers 1-2-1
To Paul
Detroit
George.
Pistons 1-1-6 final.
Batum. Nobody even close to him. Nick Batum strikes with the basket.
Great shot by the offense, but the defense, you can't afford to collapse off that penetration. I'd rather a team take a tough 2 than a wide open 3.
Brooklyn with 4 to shoot. A drive to the basket, but the shot won't go down.
Woo! I like that intensity on that play. That's how you actually dig in the dirt and do your job on the defensive end.
Deep 3 at the buzzer. That ends the first quarter. The Clippers are out in front.
Game 1-7 Memphis Grizzlies 9-5 Minnesota Timberwolves 1-3-8 final.
Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. It's the Clippers with the possession now. Paul George to Leonard. Takes stock of the floor. Able to convert inside.
Old school equals high percentage.
Durant across the timeline. Trailing by 10. The Nets now with 4 to shoot. Kevin Durant, 4 out of 7.
When I played, and I see guys do this all the time, when you shoot, the target isn't the basket. The target is actually before you even go into the shot. The target are your hands defensively. If your hands are down and you give me clear vision towards the bucket, that shot's definitely going up.
PG lets it fly. He connects with the step back.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
Here comes the screen. Durant to Millsap. Knocked loose. Clippers have got it.
That's called game plan execution to perfection. Every possession on the road is critical.
George. 5 to shoot. George, old school, backs his man down for the basket.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
Here comes the screen. Nothing going here on that drive. Durant. Not today.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
Paul George to Ibaka. He shoots. Oh, off the mark. Brooklyn's got it. To Durant. Down low for Harris. Goes reverse to lay it in.
I'm not sure that wasn't an offensive foul, but take it when you can get it.
was smothered and still gets it to go down.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Durant with the basketball up top. Down a dozen. The pass taken away by the Clippers. To Ibaka. He'll go to the foul line to shoot.
Aggressive play there, but you can't fault the defender for being up in the shooter. You need to contest shots, each and every one of them.
Serge Ibaka. He's got 2 shots coming. Hasn't missed yet. First one goes down. Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Here's Harden with the rock. To Allen Crabbe. Driving right to the basket. Right through the heart of the defense. The layup is good.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
Jackson with it. The lead is 12. George here against Harden. Great defense there, forcing the pickup. Batum down low for Leonard. Around the perimeter. Straight on look. Batum. Not that time. To Griffin. Oh, had him going there for a second. Oh, look out. Blake Griffin. He's 3 of 5. 60% shooting from the field.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
George to Leonard. Nothing going here on that drive. And counted at the rim.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Millsap. To Harden. 4-3. Tough shot. Well defended.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
To Leonard. Oh, pass stolen by the Nets. Gets it in the right corner. Harden to Griffin. Down to 5 on the 24. It's Harden. Won't go. He needs some luck on his side given how they're defending. Paul George to Nick Batum. They'll get it down to Leonard. It's good. Count the basket and the foul.
And I love the smile on the face of the offensive player. Sometimes luck is on your side. I don't know how that shot went in, but and one.
Kawhi Leonard at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 84% free throw shooter. Off the mark at the line. That's toughness right there. Physical inside, gets it to go.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
Leonard to George. Serge Ibaka slams it down. That has to feel deflating for the other side.
They've really came out and made a statement so far in this first half. Another powerful dunk, but another easy dunk. When are we going to see some defense?
Aldridge. Clippers have it. George to Bledsoe. It was right there. Brooklyn with the basketball. To Aldridge. Driving is Harden, but he can't get it to go down. Leonard to Bledsoe. Taken by Aldridge. Griffin to Allen Crabbe. Down to Griffin. Oh, look out. Blake Griffin. He's now 4 for 6.
And when the ball gets the defense rotating from side to side, you're bound to find opportunities for each other.
Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll take a moment to go over things here in the second quarter. Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. George here against Harden. To Batum. Down low, George. Short jumper won't fall. Durant across the timeline. Down 12. To Harden. Nothing going here on that drive. Here comes the screen. Harden. Brooklyn with 4 to shoot. Harden. Off the mark. Serge Ibaka pins it.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
And the 2. Counted for Aldridge.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Bledsoe to Paul George. Bledsoe to George. You've got to get that one to go. Harden into the front court. They find themselves down 10. To Aldridge. Deep left corner. Durant to Aldridge. Short jumper off the mark. Batum to Paul George. Oh, he had him there for a second. Batum to George. Shot clock, it's coming down to 4. Now down to 3. George.
To number 23, Blake Griffin. That's his second personal.
Paul George is going to get 3 shots here. A career 84% free throw shooter. First one, count it. And he misses the second. Durant with the basketball up top. He'll run the offense. To Aldridge. Serge Ibaka able to recover with the block.
Oh, he blocked that with authority.
Kevin Durant sends it away.
Just erasing mistakes left and right.
Durant to Aldridge. Oh, great pass, setting up the basket.
And when plays like that happen with multiple players touching the ball, the basketball gods will 100% reward you.
Paul George. Knocked loose. Clippers have got it. Could not throw it down. Nets have it. Griffin to Allen Crabbe. Paul George snatching it out of the air. Bledsoe with the basketball. Lead stands at 10. And the finish at the rim.
That's what I'm talking about, Ed. It's that simple. Put the ball in the bucket.
To Aldridge. Serge Ibaka with a piece. And that'll get out of bounds. Last touch by the Clippers. Shifting gears. Here come some substitutions. Harden. Still hasn't hit from deep in the first half. No good. Bledsoe to Ibaka. Bledsoe to Paul George. Five on the shot clock to Bledsoe. Working hard on the glass. Nikola Batum. 2 of 4 now.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Durant across the timeline. Under a minute to go before halftime. To Aldridge. Knocked loose. Aldridge. Not that time. LA Clippers with the basketball. Bledsoe to George. And a bad pass as it's taken away by the Nets.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny.
And a putback slam.
It's so amazing when you get a chance to see a player in his own space. It's almost as if the defense doesn't exist. He can go left, he can go right, he can attack. He's playing on that court by himself.
Here's Durant for 2. Off the mark. He loves the tough shots, but that one may be too tough. A very one-sided first half of basketball as we are at halftime. Let's get you to our NBA Live studios in Orlando and hand it over to Jalen Rose for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Jalen.
Thanks, Ed. The Clippers entered halftime with a solid lead. It was their playmaking, the way they gave each other scoring opportunities. That really impresses me. I love seeing unselfish basketball like that. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Los Angeles Clippers. These are the guys getting buckets for the Brooklyn Nets.
Game track. Defense.
The Los Angeles Clippers are exhibiting some great defense. They're refusing to let shooters get comfortable and showing great anticipation in the passing lanes.
Player of the half.
Paul George most definitely deserves to be player of the half for the way he distributed the ball. It was an excellent display of court vision and solid passing.
Who was cold?
No one wants to be picked for this segment, but he couldn't avoid it. Maybe he'll turn things around in the second half. Here are the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
All right, back to the second half. I'll see you after the game.
Clippers have the basketball. Bledsoe to Marcus Morris. Probing the defense. Here's Leonard for 2. It's Aldridge with the rebound. To Durant. Lets it fly from long range. That's a dangerous spot. Kevin Durant wide open. He nails it. How do you neutralize a threat like Kevin Durant?
Well, that weak side defender constantly has to shade Kevin Durant, and that primary defender, you have to funnel KD into help every single possession, contest shots, and hope that you can deter his vision and that he misses.
To Durant. It's George with the rebound. To Ibaka. Slams it down.
Man, they are just continuing to pour it on. But the one thing we know about in this league, you have to make sure that you continue to play with energy because leads can evaporate quickly.
Harden. Down low, Aldridge. Missed it. How'd that not go down? It's LA Clippers ball. Bledsoe to Paul George. Bledsoe to George. LA with 4 to shoot. George lets it fly, knocks it down off the step back.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show because that's what you're watching right now.
Durant to Harden. Curling inside.
He sent that one to the third row.
He was locked in. That was impressive. The Nets now with 4 to shoot. James Harden trying to cash in. The jab step opens up space to knock down the jumper.
The one thing we know for certain in this league, it doesn't matter how big the margin is, you can always put together a run and get back in this one.
George here against Harden. To Bledsoe. LaMarcus Aldridge with the block.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
Durant to Griffin. Durant to Griffin. And the rebound comes down to the Clippers. It's PG for 2. No good.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
Griffin to Aldridge. Rebounds taken down by Leonard. Bledsoe with it up top. His guys up by 15. Paul George fires and scores on the step back.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in a zone by himself.
Harden to Aldridge. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. Here on their home floor, they're chipping away.
I mean, does this crowd have a pulse? Are they even alive? Sometimes when you make a play like that, your crowd needs to get you back in this ball game.
Harden in possession. Down by 15. He missed his first 4 from downtown. He finally gets a 3 to go.
I'm going to tell you what every shooter thinks after he misses 4 in a row. One has to go in eventually.
Kawhi Leonard, tough matchup against Durant. Serge Ibaka slams it down. He took it out on the rim that time.
Oh, there's no better feeling than after throwing that one down, hanging on the rim a little bit, looking at your opponent beneath you, making him recognize that's where you'll be the entire ball game.
It's the Clippers with the possession now to Paul George. Gets it in the left corner. And now he's going to shoot a few more as he's fouled going up for it.
I don't know about that one, Ed. I always thought your hand was part of the ball.
Eric Bledsoe at the line for 2 shots. For his career, 79% at the line. And he connects on the first free throw.
Number 31.
Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Harden with the basketball. 14-point deficit. Oh, highlight moves. Tough to pull off with the defender all over you. He's going to the free throw line to shoot.
You got to know your personnel. That's not someone you want to send to the line for a free 2.
James Harden, a couple of free throws on the way. He's perfect from the line so far. And hits the first free throw.
That's a mini. Bucket.
Able to convert on both free throws. George here against Harden. To Bledsoe. To Marcus Morris. Oh, pass stolen by the Nets.
You know, Ed, sometimes you're just more ready to play than your opponent. The intensity and the effort is off the charts.
George to Marcus Morris. To George. Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Harden smothering D.
And big-time coaching strategy by the staff right there, utilizing their bench, keeping fresh legs on that shooter consistently throughout the course of the game.
Knocked loose. Nets have it. No good and no foul. Bledsoe with the basketball. His guys leading by 14. Paul George to Nick Batum. Nikola Batum. 3 for 6 now.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Aldridge with the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket. George, and a bad pass as it's taken away by the Nets. Harden against Paul George. Defense making the ball handler work. To Harden. Brooklyn with 4 to shoot. Harden. It's no good. Shot's not going down. LA Clippers with the basketball. And he knocks it down. Jay, as key a move as you'll find in the NBA.
And it is the new age triple threat. It does two things. Number one, it creates distance in a hurry. Number two, when you're stepping east to west while maintaining your dribble, which is the difference maker, it throws a defender off because now he's at your mercy and he's off balance.
And it just may be, Jay, the biggest threat late in the shot clock.
Especially if you add a hesitation to the move or if you look at the rim, you'll most
stuffs it down with authority.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ballgame.
Changes coming from both sides right now. Doesn't have the touch. No good. Leonard to Paul George. Here comes the screen. Damari Carroll. Huge block. And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. Free throws coming up.
I can't believe I'm about to say this about an NBA team because this is what I say to my grammar school team. But just because a team is down on the scoreboard doesn't mean you stop playing hard and smart. You really have nothing to lose but really good habits to gain.
Can't connect on the second, and he splits the pair. To Harden. And stuffs it home. Jay, let's see if that's a sign for him.
Well, he's been pretty much non-existent the first 3 quarters, but when you have a play like that, that can get the juices going, and that can help you with your offensive rhythm.
Paul George to Bledsoe. Paul Millsap sends it away. They've got it back. To Harden. Nothing going here on that drive. Harden matched up with Paul George. A fundamental shot right there.
Can we all just agree that that handle is next level, but that jumper's wet too?
Leonard to Bledsoe. Able to convert inside.
From somebody who loved to score a lot himself. Defensively, if you are guarding me in a parallel position, I can have whatever I want when I want. You have to force this guy to go one direction, make him go towards his weak hand, and then contest that shot.
Paul Millsap. Better late than never. That was his first shot, and it goes down.
Might have had an extra dribble or two there, but he got the shot he wanted.
To George.
2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Trying to cash in. Jumper's good.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Harden with it up top. His guys down big. To Durant. Harden. He engulfed him that time.
And look, sometimes you don't have it going every single night. Maybe utilize yourself as a decoy and get some teammates involved with your passing.
George against KD. Oh, leaves the defender in the dust to Bledsoe. The Nets have the rebound. Durant against George. To Harden. Oh, straight down the middle, 4-2.
Just a ball-handling wizard, still putting people under his spell.
Timeout called here by the Clippers as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. New blood coming in for both sides.
Stepping in for the Nets, number 12.
Bledsoe to Batum. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Durant with the basketball up top. Down a bundle. Carroll against Johnson. Durant. He has certainly been on target from downtown. He's 4 of 5 from three-point range.
Let me tell you why. He's been receiving his passes on time and on target. Give the passer some credit in this scenario as well.
That ends the third quarter, and a nice advantage right now for the Clippers. Brooklyn basketball here as we start the fourth quarter. And they're not totally out of it just yet, but you'd have to say they have lots of work to do to get back in this game.
They probably have to put together some kind of 10-0 run to get back in this ball game, but this is when an opportunity has a chance to become magical. I've been part of it, and I've seen it happen so many different times. Just because a team has been dominating you the last couple of quarters doesn't mean that you can't start believing in yourself, that you can do anything you want to do on the court at any given time. You watch, once you start to believe, you'll get back in this game.
Reggie Jackson against KD. To Nick Batum.
Watch that cutter.
Deep two there, won't go. Harden in possession, trailing by 14.
Here we go. Here we go.
To Durant. Give him 2 points. High percentage.
He's a modern-day big that plays like a 6'2 guard. Scary.
Clippers have the basketball. To Batum. Jackson. Missed a wide-open look. Harden into the front court. The deficit now up to a dozen. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
Hey, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
James Harden trying to cash in on the three-point play. Hasn't missed yet. Free throw good. A three-point play. And they're back within single digits. Down by 9. Jackson with it. Looking to make something happen. To Nick Batum. Here comes the screen. To Ibaka. Oh, had him going there for a second. Has a look. Gets it to go. Didn't have many choices there. Lets it fly.
Oh, man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
Serge Ibaka swats it.
Sent a message on that one, Ed.
Gets it to go. Could have been more. A lot of contact, but no foul.
Man, that may not have been a gimme, but that layup at the rim definitely chips away at the pride of the defense.
Screen coming.
On your right. On your right.
Jackson. Had a chance, but it's no good. KD with the rock to Harden. Surveys the floor. A lot of contact. No whistle.
I agree. I thought there was a foul, but also it's all about your approach. You can't come down the lane and jump off one leg. It's called a power lift. Go off 2 legs and expect the contact.
And he'll head to the line.
There's a very fine line between maximum effort and carelessness. I'm willing to live with a few mistakes and maximal effort than having to constantly remind my players to close out.
James Harden has got 2 shots coming. He's perfect from the line so far. Knocks down the first. Two for 2 on that trip. To Batum. Serge Ibaka slams it down.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. To Nick Batum. Kennard. Joe Johnson matched up with Durant. To Batum. 24-second violation. We have both squads set to make some moves right now. Durant to Millsap. Durant. No good and no foul. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
And did you see the lift on the shot? Did you see the ball release off the hand? To be able to have the concentration to finish with such a feathery touch in the midst of contact, that's something special to watch.
That's toughness right there. Physical inside, gets it to go.
Because in certain players' mind, it doesn't matter if they're amongst the trees or not. They're always going to be the giant in the paint.
Durant to Millsap. Won't go. Durant across the timeline. The margin standing now at 7. Cleans it up. There you go. Way to stay with it.
Bodies bouncing all around on that layup with the offense winning that battle. But if the defense keeps up that kind of pressure, good things are bound to happen.
Here comes the screen. Bledsoe to Nick Batum. Goes to the left side. From long range, Luke Kennard bothered just enough on that one. Great dish to set it up. From the painted area, won't go down to Luke Kennard. Won't go down. To Aldridge. Bad pass there. Clippers have it.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Bledsoe shot misses.
The contest was good, but you being a nuisance was great. Continue to be that gnat that no matter how many times you swing at it, it never goes away.
Down low Durant. Shot from the lane won't go. Bledsoe with it up top. Leads 5. To Durant. Short jumper stays out.
Your contest was great because of your proximity to the player. You forced his follow-through to be cut short, which made him short-arm the shot.
Batum matched up with Durant. Here comes the screen. Bledsoe to Batum. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Batum can't get the bounce. To Millsap. Paul Millsap. Quiet night, but 2 for 3 in the contest right now. Now the Clippers call a timeout as they'll discuss matters in what's now a 3-point game.
The best basketball. And I know I'm saying this, and I shouldn't be saying it because I'm calling the broadcast, but as a player and a fan, you know you tune in to the fourth. This is where guys earn their paychecks. This is where you see real fight and real hustle.
Some lineup changes now for both clubs. Bledsoe to Nick Batum. Roberson's there to get the rebound. Griffin to Harden. Nothing going here on that drive. Griffin to Harden. Has a chance. Harden shot won't go down. Nice follow-up on the dunk there.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
It's LA Clippers ball. Bledsoe to Marcus Morris. Beyond the arc for 3. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
Just because someone is listening to you doesn't mean that they actually hear you. At the end of the game, when players get tired, they listen to what the assignment was, but they didn't hear what it was.
Serge Ibaka tips it.
That kid can block out the sun, Ed.
A drive down the lane, but the shot won't go. To Harden. Griffin. To Harden. Oh, he had him there for a second. For three, and it's good.
It's easy to get lost in the chaos of the game down the stretch, but great awareness by the shooter to get those toes right behind the three-point line.
It's the Clippers with the possession now. He gets it in the left corner. Bledsoe. Oh, pass stolen by the Nets. To Aldridge. Down low, it's Harden. Nice pass to get things going.
It just seems like one of three things happen every time James Harden has the ball. Either he scores, he gets fouled, or he kicks it out to someone for a three. Pick your poison.
Doesn't have the touch. No good. To Harden. Knocks it down off the step back. The challenge defending a guy who can be a 1 or a 2.
We're not old men talking about this game. We don't define players by positions anymore. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? No, he's James Harden. He's a scorer and an elite passer.
Three lucky fans will win a poster that's been signed by the entire team. Show up early for your chance to win.
Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes.
Entering the game,
Leonard.
number 41, Kawhi Leonard.
To Marcus Morris. To Aldridge. Harden, guarded by Joe Johnson. Trying to cash in, unbothered by the defense as he drills it.
That might have been a little bit easier than expected there, considering the score.
Bledsoe with the basketball. The deficit now up to 5. To Leonard. Here comes the screen. Kawhi Leonard, defended by the former Longhorn Aldridge. LaMarcus Aldridge rejects it.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Here's the whistle. Intentional foul.
Good foul right there. You want to stop the clock.
And now an intentional foul, so they'll send him to the line. 2 free throws here means it's a 3-possession game. James Harden at the line for 2 shots. Hasn't missed yet. First free throw is good. And he makes them both. Timeout called here by the Clippers. It's their second and final one of the last 3 minutes. They cannot stop the clock again. Joe Johnson here against LaMarcus Aldridge. Layup's good. Those are the types of shots you always strive for.
Serge Ibaka has such a good jump shot for somebody 6'10", but every time I hear his name, I just can't help but think about what would have been in OKC.
And now an intentional foul, so they'll send him to the line. 2 free throws here means it's a 3-possession game.
Smart play. You have fouls to use. Good way to manage the clock without burning a timeout.
Goes 2 for 2. Kawhi Leonard matched up with Aldridge. Kawhi Leonard. With that, he's 5 for 9.
The defender needs to do a better job of forcing a pickup there.
And now an intentional foul, so they'll send him to the line. 2 free throws here means it's a 3-possession game. James Harden, a couple of free throws on the way. He's perfect from the line so far. First one goes down. And gets both to drop at the line. Has a look. And 2 more points. The defense had him, but the good shooters find a way. And an intentional foul here in the closing moments, but it shouldn't make too much of a difference in what is now a 2-score game.
Okay, now look over to the sideline and see what the staff is trying to draw up on the next play. That's good clock management thus far.
Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. Desperation shot here from half court. It's the Nets who are victorious as they take care of business at home. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. This team did everything they could do to secure the win. Great job by both the players and the coaching staff. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Brooklyn Nets. The Clippers lost a tight one today, and you can see the disappointment. They shot exceptionally well from beyond the arc, but even that long-range efficiency wasn't enough for them to get the win. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. 3-point shooting.
Each of these teams were solid with their long-range shooting. So by extension, they were pretty poor with their perimeter defense. Closing out on shooters must always happen, whether you're tired or not.
Player of the game.
James Harden gets the award for the most obvious reason, and that's his scoring output. He couldn't be stopped, and it was incredible to watch.
Who was cold?
This isn't the segment you want to be in, of course, but even the best players find their way into this part of the show. These These are the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
Here are the upcoming games for the Brooklyn Nets. On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. We look forward to seeing you again next time.